Good morning, Saloon. We look at President Bill in state opening address of Parliament and how the thing them we say they reflect on the citizens them. As the president last week open being get state opening of the second session of the sixth Parliament of the Second Republic of Salone. Also, he talk about some of the things them we don't achieve and within a in government plan for government development agenda them inside the manifesto. Well, real democracy, they look at the statement and the thing them with the president talk. For sake of that, I want to welcome at the studio CD Yaya Tunis and at the National Publicity Secretary for the All People's Congress APC Party. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salone.
Good morning, 98. Thank you very much for hosting me.
And would expect for be joined now the studio by Alpha Khan, where now the presidential spokesperson and also a social commentator Thomas Dixon. Well, we start with CD Yaya Tunis from the All People's Congress APC Party as the main opposition party now Parliament. Now we look at the state opening address within the party makeup of them.
Well, thank you very much. In the first place, we want to say plenty thank you to the Parliament and the President, because every year with the every President, they go address we as a nation as to waiting they don't accomplish and waiting they get for do. This speech, there are certain aspects of our way positive. We hear a lot about peace, cohesion and inclusion from the president. They call on we as a nation for work together for push development forward. So for we hope there is sincerity in their statements then they, because that will be good for the nation. And we always, they say as opposition, we are part of government, especially the fact say we get representatives in parliament and in councils. We also they work with government for push development forward, which is what we all yearn for. But of course, there are always, or as in all other speeches we don't see president deliver. There are so many things in the speech where he talk about we not very much reflective as far as the reality where the people of this country they go through. And there are also certain aspects where we feel say inaccurate in many aspects, where some of the figures where we see them quote in the speech no seem for tally with waiting really they happen or waiting at the actual situation where we they face as a country. But in any case, as always, they make sure say we checkmate government, we they support development, we they look forward for work with government for ensure say development of this country go before. But where we feel say challenges still we will continue for highlighting challenges that they, especially the one where they impact the lives of the people of this country.
So see the President Bio in speech inside the second session of the 6th Parliament where it do Tuesday, August 6th in 3 division. Also I talk what it don't do, challenges and the way forward on delivering on a manifesto. Promises, slow take them one step at a time. On the things that we state say some of them where it don't do or where don't actualize or achieve. And according to you, some of them not speak to reality. Okay. When are some of the points there? Okay,
so I start with, for example, the flagship project Winner Agriculture. We don't hear a lot about the Feed Salon project. You hear in the president the address, he talk about, for example, they don't increase productivity in food production, the amount of money they don't spend at the agriculture sector, the technology aspect of it, and all, and so on and so forth. But then when you look at waiting they happen at the ground, you actually they realize say no. I mean, yes, they prioritize agriculture now as a nation. We in the opposition they look forward for make we succeed in that, because clearly we people in this country they suffer, especially when it comes to food business. If you look at the World Hunger Index, for example, for 2023, 68.3% of the population of this country still food insecure. So that means people, 68% of the people of this country in 2002 2023, but they struggle for get access to food. They're not able to afford food, for even get quality food for eat. And if you look at WFP, the report, the country-specific report for 2024, that number they don't even increase to about 80% or so. So it tells you that when it comes to food, we're not make any improvement. We get more and more people they continue for go hungry at this country, and that is because we all know food items, food prices, they're extremely high. Rest that this country now, for example, now about 1.2 million for bag 50 kg, depending on the type of rice we they eat. The minimum you go get maybe in around 900 to 1 million. That is extremely high for a country whose side the earnings very low, the employment rate very low. So we they struggle for afford food. WHO report they also tell we say 2.2 million of the population severely food insecure. That number is very high. 28% of households in this country, they moderately, are food insecure. 52% of households are moderately food insecure. Their numbers, then the way you look at them, they're very, very high. And we they see them. Me and a person they travel across this country plenty. I always they assess when production time then they reach for different foods in this country. When you they travel along that road there, like from Bo to Freetown or Bo to McKinney, if you now possibly they observe, you they notice say the previous years then before now, you they see plenty farmers then they get them products and their roots and they for sale, whether na cassava, whether na mango, whether na potato. But you go realize say the past 1, 2, 3 years, the amount of people and the amount of produce the way they see along their roads and they reduce. And that is because people before will be they produce enough for feed themselves and for sell. That number they don't reduce simply because the staple food when arrest the price don't continuously they go up to a point that people not they afford them anymore. So now people not they even produce for sell. People they produce for eat. So when we hear in speeches, we they talk about us producing enough to a point, say we they even talk about exporting certain goods into other countries, where we know say in this country we not even get enough. We prices are high, we not get access. We still they continue for see number of people where they go hungry in our country. We not feel say that they realistic, and that is one area where we really feel say more attention need for be paid. We look forward to the success of the feed salon, and we feel say collectively as a nation, we not feel say the figures we will see quoted in the presidential address reflective, and we all for work together for address that one.
And one thing from the president, according to Ram, government don't budget $10 million for give as loan to farmers them. You not think say this now is step forward in addressing the food challenge where you mentioned at the country way. Now one of the statements them of the president now the state opening.
Well, I mean now one thing now and the way we not so these are the things. Okay, so if government they tell we say would they spend $200 million annually for import rice, $200 million annually for import rice, and then you want for prioritize productivity of food items in this country, and then you give loan about $10 million. I mean, how you go even make comparison that side, 200 million to 10 million, which impact we go able to get, and waiting at them items they are so self-for the export, where we know say we not get enough in this country. So these are all things where we feel say not they really match the rhetorics what they see in the speeches, not they match the realities what they see on the ground. And let we not forget, in the past we had a situation wherein we establish structures them across this country. Una we be the follow, we get agriculture business centers, we give seeds and to farmers them across the country. And to a large extent, we see increase in productivity. And we'll be able for also introduce things that we keep prices of food items then down, even though by then people say it been still high. We keep prices of food items down. Rest no ever pass 200,000 a bag in this country. You compare that to 1.2 million now, that is extremely high. And alternatives, they're not plenty again, because like I said earlier, when they travel, they see much. But look, this past season, take mango for example. We get mango season, even Talek we get mango season. We see few now the street. By the time we lock we are and open, it done. It is because the people of this country, the hunger they make, we just they consume now until they produce. We not they produce even enough for our able feed we self, which is why when a good for look at them figures, then they, especially with international partners, then they do, because when they come, they are not focusing more on the larger cities, but then they go into the rural communities, and they outside the impact they feel more, and that is where we also they focus, and we they bring this to the fore so that we all as a country will collectively work on them.
Okay, well that's na CD Ayatini the publicity secretary for the All People's Congress Opposition Party APC, where they give in your first intake on what you think about President Bio in speech we do at the state opening. And also, as we'll be telling earlier on inside this edition today, we also they expect Alpha Khan when at the presidential spokesperson, but not there yet. And at the moment we don't get Thomas Dixon when a social commentator way instead they can give your view on this particular issue. Dixon, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, thank you very much.
So generally, I know say don't follow and don't take certain point on President Bio in speech on the second session of the 6th Parliament, where the Tuesday, August 6th, and that speech today in 3 division. Also, I talk about things that we don't do so far, challenges and the way forward for continue for fulfilling promise we make to Salon people. But we did now on the things where it don't say it don't do so far, and see did highlight one key priority area among in 5 agenda them. But to start with you, when are your general assessment what this all President Bio in speech we do inside the second session of 6th Parliament?
Well, we obviously know see every year the president like they taking report card to the people's representative in Parliament for outline an achievement, challenges, and aspiration for the other year. And the president in this state opening of Parliament begin by calling for unity and the need for let we come together and support in government for let it succeed. It began for also end with the same thing we start with when unity, and it began for say leadership be based on empathy, and which in fact in reality there is some lack of that in governance. Empathy, where you they put yourself and the people in shoe. The president began for veering into different sectors. He began for talk about the 5 core priority areas. He talk about agriculture, and he talk in agriculture mostly talk about waiting and don't do like the $10 million we said in a bank of Sierra Leone. But when you look at that, 98.1 been do interview with one of the agriculturists when a popular agriculturist, Mr. Touye, we been point out see they don't have access to that money, even with the money they as loan. They say they don't get access to them. And the president emphasized that they cannot succeed in the agriculture without private sector involvement. And if you talk about private sector involvement, access to loan is very, very important. While I look at the president's speech, I try for compare with previous speeches the way they don't make to Parliament, and try for align within, try for look at consistency, or try for do some comparative analysis. In 2021 on agriculture, the president been talk about $50 million loan. We see they don't get to they don't get to a government. We want company where they call Agro Elite LLC they can do na Rumbi swamp for rice production and Tomabum for rice production. In that same year, in December, the Deputy Minister of Agriculture will go present the agreement into Parliament. We also see by 2022, President, the Vice President, then go na Rumbi, then go, they send the launch arm. But up till now, we not see. And where you look the agreement when they present at Parliament for the production of rice, they get about 150 bags or 50 kilogram of rice from that particular project, but we not see the fusion of that. And in this year's speech, the president said don't expand on agricultural production, particularly rice production. And if you say you don't expand on agricultural production, with man and one proverb so they can say na cliche now. They say the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So if you say you don't expand on agricultural production, the people then get for filam. The pot. We get for begin see rice made in Sierra Leone in the pot. We get for begin see the reduction of prices of rice. But what we don't see, from when the president announced in feed saloon, we've seen a steady increase in the prices of rice. The Minister of Finance be assured the people of Sierra Leone that despite the 5% tax on rice, rice no go increase. But we see the price no increase from about 600,000 to now 1 million leones, 1,000 leones, 600 leones to now 1,000 leones, depending on the kind of rice you want to buy. That's what the price of rice is. You look at even local produce like pepper. Pepper is 15 leones a cup, which is very, very expensive. So if actually agriculture don't expand, production don't expand, the people left, Sierra Leoneans, for filler,
okay,
not import.
You've been there on your points before we go for that break.
Yeah, still, let's talk quickly on this agriculture. If you look at the recent index on hunger, you look at the things you see say Sierra Leone get they are at the bottom of the hungriest nation in the world, where they suggest see in the year 2023 the president initiative, the feed saloon, actually no yield dividend. And most Sierra Leoneans want for let the president some of their initiative then they let them yield dividend, because these are people's initiative. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with the pot, the belly of the people. And if we just make statements and no more, and then statements and the way it comes to the reality on the ground, then not so the same, then it's a problem for us. So for me, I think the people away perhaps they write the president in speech. Sometimes if ministry sends something to now, I get for try for verify them on the ground, or try for ask within our people.
So what you they try for say, is it that the ministries then they misinform the president? Is that the case?
Well, you know, in the presidential address normally each ministry they send in goodies, in achievements and challenges to State House. You get somebody where they put them in there together. You get somebody where able for verify, and sometimes the president for even able for go over and try for ascertain whether, because it clearly shows that the president is out of touch with the reality on the ground. Look, like for example, simple thing like toll-free number for SLRSA. Toll-free number. It just take your mobile phone for just check out 244 if it's existing. But the president talk in a parliament say they don't get toll-free number for emergency in case people in the accident wouldn't for call. So when the president makes some statements, people and they believe her. So if you call that immediately when the president we don't check on several days now, it's not effective.
So Dixon,
it's not so that no more, but as we discuss
yes, we will take a step by step.
Look into
Still in line with this agriculture, because that concern everybody.
Yeah.
Taking care of your livelihood each day, able to feed the family. And on that President Bio's statement, after we don't talk about the expansion of rice production, and make another important point of mechanization of the value chain. Also, I talk about how much I don't provide tractors, harvesters, rice mill, and other one. And so in all of them, how the president state, you want to say no, the winner. Reality on the ground?
Well, even before now, we done the hear about mechanization of agriculture, of the value chain. We done the hear about the provision of tractors. In fact, before the president is second in it was tractors that were distributed. But we unable to foresee the impact of the tractors on agriculture. Now, the president is say there have been tractors, harvesters, rice mill. But as I say, all of these things, if they actually exist, or if they actually existed in 2023, we don't see the impact in the production of, for example, rice. We don't see the impact in the production of some of the things that we know say the foodstuff that we know say they produce in this country, and that actually don't lead to the reduction of rice importation. But wait till they see now on the other side. If you go out on the street and ask the ordinary man whether they don't feel the impact of President Bio in feed salon in this 1 year, then go tell you then go give you other statements with different. So it's not about whether the president don't provide anything there. It's whether they are actually effective. You know, in agriculture, they can say you get, not just in agriculture, you get input, you get output. If you don't provide tractor, you don't provide rice mill, there should be an output. The output of these things, now the rest, when the rest don't carry, don't get at the market, and people are able to buy them, they're able to afford them, then I think say nine are the outputs. But if this output not there, then the inputs get problem.
So Dixon, will they come back to you inside the program Good Morning Salon for look at the verification of the president's speech where he did deliver to the nation? Because perhaps this could be the second or third time where presidents, I remember the last time we talked on the electricity and energy again, where the country been the face and it been say light day abundant and other things them. And you see where the president self reached the, he look shocked when the speech. Would they look at waiting the speech writers them for the do and state house for the do for verify some of them in the way ministries, departments and agencies in the send for make the president read now public as in statements.
Radio Democracy that assess President Mayor in state opening address and how much they reflect on its citizen, and we get with two studio guests them, and we also they expect Alpha Kano and the presidential spokesperson, but now will not see it inside the program. But they continue with studio guests, and they bring in CDI at Tunis, publicity secretary for the All People's Congress and Party opposition APC. We'd all look at the first President Mayor point away make as he highlights in 5 agenda on things that we don't do so far, and now we look at human capital development. But before that, let we look at the issue of reality about waiting me co-presenter be the get to the second guest about how much President Mayor for the make sure say waiting to talk to the public it really they reflect. Leone say something really on the contrary.
I mean, you know, the thing is, we were there in governance, like how Dixon say, whenever a time for president for address the nation, they ask ministries for sending, you know, specific areas that we then feel say they don't accomplish as far as the government policies are concerned for the particular line ministry, and we can always send in we own parts them for be included in the presidential address. If you look at President Ernest Bai Koroma in handing over to President Bill, one of the things that we advise President Bill now that if for always to cross-check things then they tell her, especially from the Ministry of Finance, because most of the times the figures or the things that we then can state not can reflect the reality, you know. So it didn't I handing over note. It specifically advised President Bill on that for always the cross-check, and this speaks back to what we just did discuss. This now something we consistent with all of the speeches where President Bill don't give in a parliament from where it come in. That most of the time things then the way they can include now in speech, we can inaccurate, we not can reflect the reality. So they want the way they write the speech, then get a responsibility for always cross-check the data where then they give them, the information where then they give them from specific ministries and agencies for make sure say first of all, it correct, and secondly, you know, it not over bloated or it not under bloated or it not reflect the reality, so that at the end of the day, the president not go face embarrassment like I be happening with the famous, you know, energy line we've been given at Parliament.
So in line with the speech, we don't look at agriculture, human capital development. Here, I like to say they don't recruit 5,000 health workers, increase the number of doctors to over 600, and invest in capacity building to improve healthcare efficiency. Now, waiting will be your point into this again, looking at how much things on the happen at the well body sector.
I mean, if there is any ministry where, a lot of resources don't go into now the health sector, and every year from in different parliamentary addresses, the numbers, the figures, as far as the number of people where they don't recruit at the health sector, they change. Sometimes with the area about 10,000, 11,000, they count to 1,000, 2,000. This year, they're saying at 5,000. But the reality is when you look at our health worker patient ratio in this country is still very low. You go now with health facilities, them you find out say they're still deplorable, and the health figures them even where with the quote they're not really they reflect waiting they happen. You find out say even with the previous administration substitute. I always they say if there is any sector who for them they see improvement now in the health sector, because I go say this, I don't work in that ministry there for many years, and I know say a lot of things been happening, especially where it been the lead to the introduction of the free healthcare, the massive infrastructure, rehabilitation of health facilities, them, the introduction of the maternal death review audit, for example, the establishment of midwifery schools na Makeni, Bo and Kenema, where increase the number of midwives then for they attend to belle woman them where they go for born. The fact say them be able for improve the health facilities, the theaters, them bring in equipments, them we improve the quality of service, increase the conditions of service for health workers. But all of that one day, when you look at waiting they happen now, we still see we not see much in
but
terms
then
of
you don't like to progress in the health sector.
those are progress. That is
Okay.
why I'm saying by now I feel say we for they make a lot of improvement at the health sector.
More than that, you mean?
Based on 10 things then they were I don't highlight. Would they expect say if really waiting the current administration they tell you about the kind of way they don't invest in the health sector in addition to waiting the previous administration they do, we for they see the numbers with health indicators then they reduce. But all of their interventions then they've been geared towards reducing maternal and infant mortality, by the way. We don't hear plenty time the president they say they don't reduce maternal mortality by certain percentage since then can of power. But again, when we look at the statistics, Sierra Leone still get very high maternal mortality. In fact,
Statistics of Uswan and Usia.
maternal mortality. For example, the previous administration, I know say be stand at 857 per 100,000 live births. So if you say you don't reduce that number, they supposed to be less. But if you look at the current maternal mortality for Salone, it stand at 1,360 per 100,000 live births. So that it tell you say it don't actually go up, it not reduce.
But that statistics, contrary to within the government, the gear as you self mentioned, somebody go ask how Tunis get this figure in statistics.
I mean, they out there. Go look at I don't even go to WHO. Just look at the WFP annual report for Salone for 2023-2024. All of which are the quote to you. So then they tell you exactly where we stand in terms of maternal mortality, where we stand in terms of malnutrition, where we stand in terms of child mortality, all of them things. Okay. Then they did it. So I know they just quote. But then even in reality, go to with health facilities up to you. Where they say we still get issues with even keeping our health facilities clean. We still get issues with having basic medications now with health facilities. Some of us, we get people they call we for help for things them as cheap as IV fluid when a drip where people they get. Then they tell them say available. Then get for go to private sectors for buy them things. Then and these are the problems we will continue to see, despite the fact say where they get all of these speeches where they give the indication say where they see improvement in the area of health. I be they drive along Regent Road, Lumley recently. Say then just open a center where they say Dr. Julius Marabio Pediatric Center of Excellence. I mean, which is for us when we see those things, you want to be happy that we get such edifice being built with the hope that we will see improvement in the delivery of health services to especially the vulnerable population of this country. But when I drive, the place being pitch dark, lights have not been there. So these are some of the challenges we would see with the health sector. We know they match the utterances we would see from not only the president but even officials of the current administration, where they paint this picture as if we have seen. I don't hear somebody they say we'll get the best health care, now this country.
But that is somebody.
I mean, so that is just when you read them kind statements, then they ask yourself which world we they. When say in reality that is not true. We get one of the weakest healthcare delivery system, regardless of everything. And sometimes they ask myself, let me even take, for example, the referrals. We say with the struggle in so many areas, the distances among healthcare delivery services, they're long, they're far. That is why the previous administration established the ambulance service system, where every chiefdom be supposed to get a working ambulance. We launched that one day, it was working. We don't know what happened to all of them things, and we don't know what happened to the blood bank. We don't know what happened to the cooling systems. Then at the different health facilities, then we for make sure so we get enough blood. Now even community health centers, so that then for they deal with people and we go need blood in those areas. So these are always we will go see improvement in health, but what will they see now when you look at the healthcare delivery system, it don't reduce, but then when with the hear speeches, they're completely different.
CD continue for the with me inside the program in the National Publicity Secretary for the All People's Congress APC party, and we expect for be joined at the studio by the presidential spokesman with Alpha Khan. But meanwhile, we join Thomas Dixon again. Dixon, we look at the president in speech on human capital development and the job them we don't provide so far.
When we look at health, the president talks in government don't employ 5,000 health workers, and for me I think the recent statistics we'll get on health workers to patient ratio according to World Bank 2023 report is 2 health workers to 10,000 patients, and the same report say 45% of all we midwives na free tongue then they only 29% are in a rural community, which means we need more midwives. We they lend credence to why we still get the highest, one of the highest maternal mortality in the world. And in terms of maternal mortality, as in 2020, it reduced from 800,000 to from 800 to 443 deaths per 100,000 life birth. And for me, I think we need to do more in the health sector. We not just need to give figures where the figures if you say 5,000 from government to employ 5,000 health workers in the year under review, we will be able to see the impact. There are hospitals, there are PHUs with we lack health workers. There are basic amenities. This is not the first time the presidents they tell we say don't invest in amenities and infrastructure, health infrastructure. We don't talk and before say you don't invest in health infrastructure in the country. In in 2000, in the same parliamentary address, he tell the people of this country at the quota, Mr. Speaker, in line with my commitment to establishing an ultra-modern diagnostic facility in Sierra Leone, I am pleased to announce to this House that Cabinet has approved $19.8 million for the construction of a national diagnostic and radiotherapy cancer treatment center with modern facilities. From 2020 to date, we've not seen that particular structure. And we all celebrate the Japanese JICA support where they give you this pediatric hospital na Lomley. This was a support about $60 million. If you check the president in travel in 4 years, the government in travel in 4 years, $28 million. And we are talking about $19.8 million for get a pediatric. Well, pediatric, now people can get some of them issues that they then get for travel go Ghana. So if the president can spend $28 million to travel, you can actually half of cut down the government can spend that. They can actually cut down
but
that
then
to
travel
half
they can justify say perhaps now we president travel they count more goodies.
Well, you have within like then World Bank support, IMF support. This is not support we obviously get for CAM. Now budgetary support we obviously get for CAM. You just need meetings with government, World Bank representative and agree on the conditions. So I don't think this much emphasis on say pass travel. There are presidents in the world where not they travel so, but they get much more support from institutions than Sierra Leone.
So Dixon,
let me just don the human capital invest. Even the president in education, in free education.
no, let's stick to that. They take them step at a time, please. So, in line with this same human capital development, we Suicide State, President Mayo State, in partnership with Massiship, 5,000 free surgeries. We also highlight a 110 bed field hospital na Potloko hospital also na Jonjoma. Another one them we did all rehabilitate. For you, all this not mean nothing in progress in the health sector.
These are important. We need more hospitals. We need more clinics, and they laud the president for some of them things, and if they way the norm do for increase the health facilities, we need more farm. But at the same time, we also highlight say in as much as we need more health facilities, we also need more health personnel. We also need basic amenities. If you look at the audit reports under review, you will see say hospital they not get basic thing as oxygen. We all day now a medical doctor at the main infant and the main infant referral hospital in the country, which is PCMH, where the doctor they talk about some of the facilities that they lack. So if actually the president would don't get good facility at them place we go actually see and people and go willing for going to government hospital and then they scramble for going to hospital, private hospital, we're very expensive.
Okay.
So for me, I think saying as much as we get the infrastructure and some of the things that we talk, they are still promises. Say then the bill, now Waterloo, these are still yet to come. They pray, the people of this country, they pray that these things they are so, they actually happen.
Okay.
But when it comes to figures, is what I've stated here. Currently, we get one of the worst health workers to patient ratio in the world. And I think we need to close that gap. I'm not saying no to a day's job, but we need to do more. So in fact, when the president said don't employ 5,000 workers, if you go to just take a stroll at the HRMO office, they see hundreds of young people that win are nurses where they go get them PIN code.
Okay. We they look at President Bio in speech at the second session of the 6th Parliament where he do August 6 when at Tuesday specifically. Also I go read on things they were able for do challenges and the way forward. So far we don't look at human capital development and agriculture as we take step at a time, and also inside the program we expect the presidential spokesperson where na Alpha Khan for Khan talk on government your side, but up to now not see it inside the studio. So like how my colleagues say we continue with studio guys, are they bringing you in CDI at Tunis from the opposition? Generally, I mean on a scale of 1 to 10 on the different institution or mini scale to look at. For agriculture, waiting will be percentage mark you go get them.
I mean, always difficult for attached figures to then things they are. So because these are ongoing processes. I mean, in terms of agriculture, even from the first term, we don't hear.
So generally, because I look at other institutions,
we still they face challenges.
When are you? What think will be general mark indicator?
Well, for now, because we not really see much, I go give them 30% because of the massive investments they would only see that they attach and the importance within they attach to agriculture. But in terms of yielding and seeing the benefits, we'll not begin foresee them it until we see it begin for be reflective. We see production. We begin foresee, access to local rice in the manner in which we know say now we get option for either buy local or imported, and we see that with local rice prices they're even cheaper than the imported. Then we will begin foresee say we don't see improvement, but for now it is just dreams.
So what about human capital development? What think will be your percentage ranking?
I mean, human capital development, say not only limited to health, even in terms of education, we Naina been the major, the flagship project from the first time. We still they face a lot of challenges in terms of education at this country. In fact, I just read yesterday, we still they see a very, very, very high, completion rate at low completion rate at primary school level.
So what will be general assessments?
It's still poor.
Okay.
The education sector is still poor. Human capital development generally is still very poor. We still get a lot of work for doing that area.
So I will throw the same coin back at Dixon on the two institutions they already would all look at. If you give them a rating, what thing you go say in line with that?
For me, I think agriculture we don't fail the first year. It's a total failure because if you say the plant, you don't plant. You get a planting season. You get the planting season. You get the inside 1 year. You get a planting season. You get the production season. So if by 2020 we're able to foresee what we plant, it means we not do well. If you not get good yield, you've not done well. So for me, I think the agriculture is we not make no progress.
Before you go to the other points, look at agriculture. We see the government promise every 1 year they reduce importation of rice by 20%. We don't done the first year.
Well, I not think say we don't see the importation of rice to reduce. I think the reason for the 5% on importation of rice actually is to reduce importation and to support the agricultural sector. But I not think say we don't reduce the importation of rice. If we don't reduce the importation of rice, it will be seen. It will be felt by everyone. People will be able to see cheap country rice, locally produced rice. Now the market able for buyer, but where the locally produced rice is even more expensive now because there is shortage of the rice in the market, and more people want them, so the price they go up. And where you look at the imported rice, where for be cheap also, very expensive, and in fact it don't go up more from the last time when the president actually introduced the feed salon and when they introduced the 5% tax, despite the promises where the Minister of Finance been give the public that the 5% tax no they actually affect the increase in rice rice, but we don't see it don't increase.
What the assessment of the other areas?
When you look at education, you look at the same 2023 World Bank economic review report. Then tell we say the percentage of out of school children don't decrease. That means a Pekin they will not go school. One good thing about the free quality education, it don't make beaucoup Pekin they now they go school. That is good. But again, the same report they tell you say, it said despite improvement in access to education, learning outcomes remain very low. So that's the output again in education. If learning outcomes remain very low, it means there should be more investment in education. So for education, because we don't able for tackle, say more picking than don't begin good school. Despite infrastructure, the schools they lack the basics of infrastructures, but more picking than the classroom. I think say that is kudos. You go able for say okay, education, the educational sector and the, let's say, human capital development a C. You understand? Because of learning outcomes, because of increase in number of picking them in a school. But however, learning outcomes it reduce.
Attempt for make we look at some of the text messages them. Saptiu?
Okay, this first message is a reality should indeed be reflective. I think those who are giving President Bio the speech should have some conscience.
This one, good morning. I just want you to know that in the health sector, there are other health professionals. It's not only nurses, example, pharmacists, laboratory technicians, CHOs, directors, or all these disciplines make up the health workforce. Thanks.
This message from Santigi Abdul Kamar on our Facebook page on the well body sector, they say these figures are not realistic. There are more volunteers as health workers in the health facilities than government pay that they want to get pin code. Where are they taking those health workers? We don't know. Deception at its peak.
More text message them inside the program we want send on with 077-981-9819 and also now we Facebook page. This one say President Bio statement on agriculture do not reflect the reality. There are no new tractors or seeds imported to date for the feed saloon. The $10 million held by the Bank of Sierra Leone is a grant from EU. Not a single cent has been raised by government of Sierra Leone. Even the 5% surcharge imposed by NRA on imported rice cannot be accounted for. You challenged the Minister of Agriculture the last time in your interview, but could not throw light on the said funds. For goodness sake, what impact will $10 million make on importation of $250 million clean rice? Till date, the funds are stocked at the Bank of Sierra Leone. Very sad.
More message inside the program. This one from Per Content, our Facebook page. They say one key challenges we are facing as a nation is simply because we compromise our law, which for me is killing us, and that in many ways can take us anywhere, no matter how much we invest.
This one go Ruji now Facebook page. They say CDI at Tunis. I heard you talk about mango. When have ever Sierra Leone Sierra Leone gone into mango farming? You're talking like you have an alternative better off. Why didn't you held on the price of bag of rice when it was 50,000 leones when you assumed power in 2007? You guys should have changed that country because you assumed power on a golden platter. Everything you complaining about should have been thing of the past. You have been a thing of the past, okay, but you guys have nothing to offer, only to propaganda your way to assume power. You guys are jokers.
This one has said, though the two guests are saying the fact, but at the same time they should be realistic to themselves. They cannot say nothing has been done progressively. Are they not in Sierra Leone? Are they not saying?
This one from Roji the Builder, they say, David Moina Senge, please listen to this program. And still inside the program, this one, guys are misleading the leadership so much.
This other message, they read this person, they say for the health, on the health sector, much has been done. There is no way they will say nothing has been done. We should try and see the reality and accept it, and also speak from reality ground.
Opposition, you dey complain, but when you dey in governance, you still dey complain. Musa, I dey look forward to the day where APC go kind of power, where nobody no get for talk say, oh, where SLPP been they wanna be they do this, because with responsibility now for ensure say we transform the country based on the promises we will make. Not to for can begin sit down they complain about waiting SLPP do or not do, because we promise these people say waiting that they do not good. When we come, we'll go do and better. That is pretty much what SLPP did in 2018. Then tell we say waiting APCB they do not good. When they come, then go do and better. So if they can, then they do worst. You know we can't begin to complain about APC again. No.
Okay. At President KCDI Tunis, we come to Thomas Dixon and we come with text message. This one from Camara Charles. They say Sierra Leoneans are good to critique but poor in solving the problem. Tunis, did you have a farm or have you ever assisted farmers in your home? Thomas Dixon is always anti-SLPP, but he did not even have a backyard garden. Governments farm is not enough to feed this country. We as individuals should have farm. Dixon, how do you talk about harvesting season? October is the harvesting season in Sierra Leone, not August. You always said nothing has been done in the agriculture. What about the onion production? Dixon, with the text message that can to you.